Cool. So my name's Josh Berge. I've been working with Integrity First now. Believe it or not, I'm gonna be going on to my fifth year. Was previously in fundraising that I did a whole lot of work in fundraising. And 5 years ago, I hooked up with Integrity First, hooked up with Joe Cipollini, and to be totally honest with everybody, this program, Joe, he changed my life completely as a salesman, as a father, as everything. Pretty impressive that you guys are. That you guys are here putting your time and your energy into this. It's worth every second of it for sure.
All right, that I'm very gracious. I appreciate you, man. Talk to me a little bit about talk to me about the first 30 days because I think that people look and say, "Oh man, he's a top sales guy and generates like $2 million in revenue."
Yeah, it was really interesting, whenever I started. So I've been in sales pretty much my whole life, in some capacity. When I started, I would call myself a seasoned vet in the sales space. So, I went into this company and they put you through the 30, 60, 90 and all those things. And it was interesting. At first, I was like, these guys are teaching me. I'm, 10 years older than these guys. And I've been in the arena and I've done my thing and, all that until I started to really open up and accept all the information that I was getting. So it's interesting. I went from having a little bit of an attitude about, I'm too good for this or whatever, to the end of my 30, 60, 90, whenever I actually wanted to stay an extra 30 days to continue to train. And so, it took a little bit of time that first 30 days, but once you start learning this information, it's almost like an addiction.
I remember having to tell you to slow down. What did that mean when we would have those conversations?
You start to learn how to close, you start to learn how to, ask the right questions, and it almost becomes addicting. So I actually ended up staying in the training process for an extra 30 days, just to tune up my skills. A lot of the times when I was going through the motions of it, going through the modules, going through all those things, but not really slowing down and recognizing what I was learning, clicking the button, clicking the checkbox. Oh yeah, you got a couple hours to do this. Click the checkbox, get on to the next. Doing the work, but I wasn't learning the work. And slow down is like the worst thing. We're all go, go, go. But by taking that opportunity to slow down really allowed me to tune in on all of the things that can really, really help you in this industry.
Chad, I have a handful of real talk questions and conversation I want to have with Josh. My question for you, Bergie, is talk to me about your actual appointment. I have shared the game that we play of how long can we be there without talking about the house. How do you approach your appointment when you are walking up to and in through the front door? And do you really play the game? And do you really go 45 minutes to an hour without talking about the house? And how do you do it?
Absolutely. So the first part about it, and yes, so the game's real. Do this at every one of my appointments. Well, the first thing, the most important part of the whole, being able to do that is setting the expectations the right way. Letting people know that I'm going to be, this could take about an hour. I ask a ton of questions. Sometimes I get off topic, but it's really important to me that I just learn everything about you. Once I can get them to commit to me that it's not just about business, then you're home free. And by being curious and being, it really opens up a friendship that you can't get in just a regular transaction. It is so much easier to deal and talk with friends than it is to deal and talk with salespeople. So by setting the expectations, hey guys, listen, I'm not just here to buy your house. I'm here to learn about you, about the things that make you tick, about the best way I can help you. And it might take us a little while to get there. So if that's okay with you, we're going to just dive in. That's a perfect opportunity for me to go in there, recognize my issue. I'm not going to be able to help them, get out of there in 15 minutes and maybe be able to make it home for, a late dinner. But instead I sat there and started asking questions. We never even spoke about the house, never even talked about it. And I knew that there was nothing that I could do to help them. But what ended up happening was I got home last night. I got a text this morning saying, hey, I really would like for you to talk to my neighbor. You might be able to help him out. He's getting ready to move. Me taking the time to get to know him, had I not had that conversation with him, there's no chance that guy would have sent me a text to help his friend. So I think that it's really important that even if you can't do the job that you're there to do, there's still a job to be done, you know, and our job is to help people. It's okay for us to say the best way for me to help you is for me to not help you. It's for someone else to help you. That's the way you get your street cred up, is whenever you start to really put your people's best interest in mind. And you'll never be able to do that unless you know what the real problem, and you'll never be able to know what the real problem is unless you have a real conversation. So it's kind of a trickle down effect. So I think it really helps you kind of on every level, if that makes sense.
I love it. I love it. So, and I think that one of the questions we get a lot, I think Cody Dover's in here. He asks this question like weekly.
I love
How
Cody
do you,
Dover. He's a good one.
he is a good dude. How do you transition from the friendly conversation to talking business? How do you sit there for 45, 50 minutes, an hour, and then all of a sudden it's time to start to talk about business? What does that transition look like for you?
So it's interesting that you say that, because I feel like whenever you put it the way you put it, you're looking for some sort of qualifying event to take it over there. What I've noticed is the more that you're having that real conversation that we were talking about, and that honest, the conversation about how to get to the end line and everything, it actually comes very organically. Because it's kind of like a rollover more than a pivot. You go from, this is all the things that are important to me and my family. And then, you know, you kind of guide yourself into, well, how can we take all the information we've learned from each other and put it into the real thing? It's not a transition. It's just kind of like an organic rollover, because you don't want them to know that you're making that transition. You get to the point when you say, well, you know, there seems to be a lot of things that are really important to you in this transaction. Help me understand, you know, what's the most important thing? And then you can kind of start isolating different objections and things like that. I don't think it's as much of a transition as a rollover. I know that sounds weird, but that's the best way I could kind of explain it. I don't know if I did justice, but that's the best way I could explain it.
That's it for us for today. Let's give Josh some thank you. Appreciate you, man.